Hello, Brad here, just to say we're super proud that the Friday 5pm podcast is sponsored by the Malt Miller, the UK's best home brew store.
We use the Malt Miller for all of our homebrew experiments, as well as tapping them up for advice and binging on their awesome YouTube channel all the time.
That's why whenever we release a homebrew video, we put a recipe kit live on the Malt Miller, so you can brew with the exact same amazing ingredients that we did. The same ingredients used by pro brewers.
So alongside the Malt Miller's nitro-flushed hops, cold-stored yeast and milled-to-order malts, you can pick up recipe kits for our 5 Points Best Bitter, Russian River West Coast IPA, and now the fastest beer in the world, a hazy session IPA that goes from grain to glass in less than 48 hours.
Sign up to their newsletter at tinyurl.com/Malt Miller to get 5% off your first order. With the Malt Miller's amazing customer service and Johnny's 48-hour recipe, you could order the ingredients on a Monday and be drinking the beer by the weekend.
Speaking of which, it's Friday.
It's 5pm.
So enjoy this week's Friday 5pm podcast. What's up, Beer Geeks? It's Friday, it's 5pm, which means that nowadays, if you live in England, you've only got 5 hours till the pub closes, so you better get down there.
Yeah.
Brad, are you in the pub?
I'm in the pub tonight because it's my birthday in a couple of days' time, so I am out having a beer this evening in South London.
This is very awkward, Brad. Where was my invite?
I mean, you were invited. If you're just sort of doing this to sort of create some tension, then it's not working. But you were invited, Johnny.
Just trying to make it look like a bad guy.
We're only allowed 6 people, aren't we? And I think I've only got 4 mates that are coming. So you're welcome to trek across London in the torrential rain if you'd like to join us.
Yeah, it's another of those storms. I don't know why we've suddenly started naming our storms, but I never seem to remember the names either. But it's a named storm. It's a legit one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's with us for a day or two. I've already bought the sausages for a sausage stew and some crusty bread. We're hunkering down autumn style, big time at my house.
Nice.
Yeah. Talking of hunkering down autumn style, we're going to start this podcast with a big old plug because it's been a long time since we did our last live show, but we've got one next Saturday, 10th of October.
Well, hey.
What are we doing, Bradders?
Mate, we're only doing a bloody Oktoberfest beer box, aren't we? It's going to be amazing.
And Prosit. I'm Prosit Gemütlichkeit.
Isn't it more like, through it all? No, what's the song they'll sing? Is it Angels? What's the terrible song?
Sorry, what was the song you were just singing?
I don't know Robbie Williams. They sing Robbie Williams songs, don't they? Which is bizarre.
Yeah, it's like the national anthem of Oktoberfest. It's
weird,
so weird. They play it like 5 or 6 times during a 4-hour session
Angels.
in Munich.
That's the one.
They just love Robbie Williams. They love Robbie Williams and David Hasselhoff. Like, what kind of taste in music do the Germans have? Great taste in beer, great taste in pork, terrible taste in gammon.
You got to love the Hoff. Come on, the Hoff's a ledge.
You don't have to love the Hoff.
Have you seen, just to go slightly off on tangent, have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yes.
Because at the end, David Hasselhoff is on the end credits singing like the theme tune. It's fucking weird.
Is he?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, unless I've imagined that.
Is...
Maybe I had a psychedelic dream. Pretty sure.
Interesting,
Genesis.
That would be worrying. If that was a dream you were having, Brad, you need to lay off whatever it is you're eating.
He's like a sort of alien...
smoke Gouda.
Oh, we'll get to that in a bit. But
we will get to the smoke
the
Gouda.
Hoff is on Guardians Galaxy 2, which blew my mind. But anyway.
There you go. Anyway, we're promoting an Oktoberfest box. So next Saturday, we've put together a show where we'll be dressed up. I've got an outfit. We're going to have pretzels, and we're going to have a selection of amazing lager from mostly the UK and Germany, including one official Oktoberfest beer, the one from Paulaner, which, in my opinion, is the 3rd best one.
Oh, but
it's the only one we could get.
That's not bad. 3rd best is still bronze, isn't it?
Well, there's only 6 of them, so
okay.
it's top half.
So it's mid ranking.
Yeah.
Hang on, mate. It's pretty fucking good. All those beers are great. And all
6 of them are bloody delicious.
The whole point of it is just having a great time. We can't, none of us can do Oktoberfest because it's shut. So why don't we all celebrate it at home together, mate? That's what it's about.
Absolutely.
Unity.
Absolutely.
Bringing people together, good vibes, bit of Robbie, kicking back with the 3rd best beer. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, Oktoberfest itself is it's not really a beer festival. It's like a cultural festival. It's about the music, the vibe, the people, and the place. And we probably can't do the place so much, but we can do the people, the vibes, and the music. So it should be a really great night. And you can buy that taste along box from beer merchants if you're within the UK or the EU. If you're not, then I suggest just go to your local breweries and see if they're making Oktoberfest style beers or delicious lagers. We've got smoked lager. We've got what else have we got? We've got smoked Märzen. We've got Hellas, Pilsners. We've got a rustic lager from Don Zoco, one of our favourite lager breweries in the UK. So there's lots of exciting stuff in there, and we'll be taking you through all of those and doing some beer and food matching, and of course, plenty of unedited nonsense. So the link to that is in the show notes. We're going to rattle on with the show because we've got so much to cover and 20 minutes is already looking unlikely. But do buy that box. Link in show notes. Bradley, what did we stayed up till midnight on Tuesday, didn't we? We were wild in our 30s.
So wild in the Isles. We stayed up with Greg from Untappd. And we did
Yeah, you didn't realise he was the founder of Untappd.
No. When I spoke to him, I was on the Zoom call before you, and Greg was like super nice, super humble guy. And when he introduced himself, I was like, "Oh, you're right, Greg." I was like, "What do you do at Untappd then?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm just work from home." I'm like, "What did he say?" So, like, I work remotely from Connecticut, and I got a sort of freelancer vibe off of him. Not having fully checked that he is the bloody founder of the company. But what an amazing, lovely guy.
Yeah, he was great. And we had a lovely 40-minute podcast live show with him on their channels, which was great, like to reach a new audience that is very geeky. And we got loads of new subscribers as a result. Lots of people asking where to find our channel, and we plugged our documentary hard. But we had a great time, like geeking out about the data behind Untappd, about sort of drinking culture around it, and whether or not 2020 was the year of the lager. Turns out it wasn't. We still haven't had the year of the lager. So it's well worth a listen, and Greg is a really interesting guy, and we'll put that in the show notes as well. It's available on YouTube to watch or on their podcasty stuff or all over the place, really. They broadcasted it on every single platform that they had.
They put it on the app as well, don't they? So if you happen to be on Untappd on the app, while there's a show
you would have got a link.
It comes up right at the top, and you can stream it live. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. I think
super cool. Yeah,
Greg's quite a techie guy, wasn't he? So it was interesting to talk some stats with him and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. He had sort of had the data all up in his head, and yeah, he dismissed my claim that 2020 might be the year that lager gets popular. Apparently, it's the year that kettle sours get popular.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. There you go. So yeah, do listen to that. Link in the show notes. Should we talk about this week's video?
Yeah, let's do it, mate.
This was a cracker. It's one that I've wanted to do for a long time, which is what is Pilsner. Because, Pilsner is obviously, it's the biggest style in the world. It's the most popular style. It's drunk, about 70% of the beer sold around the world is Pilsner, or claims to be Pilsner. So we wanted to, talk exactly about what Pilsner actually is and how most of those beers are not Pilsner. And I'll tell you what, I might even find a way to put a link to the analytics for this video on in the show notes, because basically for the first day, it just ticks along like a normal video, getting a couple of views, doing all right, and I'm like, I thought this would be big. I thought we'd all want to talk about Pilsner. And then the graph, one day in, goes fucking mental. So it's now our most watched video of the year in the first 2 days.
Crazy.
And the graph sort of ticking along nicely, and then boom! So clearly there is an interest in Pilsner. So we talked through the difference between Hellas, Northern German Pilsner, Southern German Pilsner, and Macro Pilsner in what was, given how much information we put in there, quite cohesive, I thought.
I thought so. I mean, I was learning a lot along with everybody else as we were going. I mean, the sort of thing for me, that not to give any spoilers or anything, but just drinking the non-smoked one towards the end was quite a revelation.
There was a great comment below the video. Somebody said, Oh, right, so it's a passive smoked beer.
Yeah. I like that. I saw that one.
Which was glorious. If hopefully everyone outside of the UK would get that, but passive smoking is one of the great evils and one of the reasons that the smoking ban was brought in. So I really enjoyed that comment. Yeah, so if you want to watch that, you totally should. You learn a lot about Pilsner. There were, of course, lots of comments from people going that, lager sucks, lager is trash, but most people sort of get it at this point and understand it. And we'll get into that in one of the comments that came through. But yeah, it's one of my favourite What Even Is videos we've done, I think, because, it sounds like a really simple topic, but actually we were filming for nearly 40 minutes and condensing that down to 15 was really, really tough. So there's loads of information in there and lots of really dry pretzels.
Too dry. They were definitely inferior pretzels. Where were they from? Were they Sainsbury's?
They were Sainsbury's. We're going to have to track some proper craft pretzels for the live show next week, man. For sure. So, Bradders, why don't you tell me, what was the comment that you picked out that you liked best?
Yeah, so small. Talking about secondhand smoke and whatever, Dan Jordan had a great comment, which is making me very hungry right now. His comment was, smoked Gouda on a burger with a beer from Schenkerla is a fantastic thing. Now, I mean, I love food pairings with smoked beers are some of the funnest pairings, in my opinion. And
100%.
Friggin' love a burger, love a bit of Gouda, and, it just sounds amazing. So, I don't know whether you can get a great burger near Schenkerla, but if there isn't a burger joint that's serving smoked Gouda burgers round the corner, they're missing a trick.
We'll just take our own Gouda.
That's it. What, and then...
I've got a horrible feeling that the Germans do something a bit similar to the French, where when you get a burger, it doesn't actually come in a bun.
What?
It's just like haché in France. So you get the chips, you get the salad, and then just a burger. Like where the fuck's the handle? That's what the bun does.
Yeah, I mean, how are you supposed to put loads of toppings on it if it's got no handles?
Exactly that. So yeah, I mean that is a great food pairing, and we need to definitely try that, get hold of that. And if Germany aren't doing it, they need to sort themselves out. Take a long hard look at themselves.
Exactly.
And get more Gouda.
More Gouda in their life.
You gotta do it.
Gouda.
Oh. So yeah, my comment. This is a long comment, so I will abbreviate it. But it's from HJP. Who firstly said that our original video about Pilsner Urquell got him on the good lager train. You're welcome, HJP. And he remembers that a while back we talked about what we call the circle of craft. The circle of craft. Where basically you probably start with like a discovery, which is a pale ale or an IPA. You then discover like big imperial stouts, pastry stouts, and then sours. You've always hated sours, but you start getting into sours. And then basically, probably at a festival, your palate's completely blown, and you go, I'm going to have a lager, that'll reset it. And you fall in love with lager again. And then you just start going round that circle again and again and again. Which I still stand by. I think it's really powerful, and I'm going round the craft beer circle, the circle of craft constantly. I don't know about you.
Yeah, man, I guess it's a sort of, it's making me think of reincarnation or something right now. But it's certainly
you die after the strongest sour and come back. I think that's it.
You kill your palate, you die, and then you're reborn again in a lager.
I like it. But then HJP goes on to talk about he wonders why we didn't include Pilsner Urquell over Budvar, and he asked if it was because Pilsner Urquell aren't independent; they're owned by Asahi. Now, I think we've said this a couple of times on the podcast and on the channel, but we have our own way of deciding who can be on the channel or not, and it's not based on ownership; it's based on ethics. So we look at the company's behaviour, and there's lots of craft breweries that act reprehensibly, and there's lots of big breweries that act reprehensibly. As far as we can tell, Asahi are not a bad brewery. So actually, the reason we didn't include Pilsner Urquell, which would have made more sense from a narrative perspective, is because we've included them about 8 times already on the channel. I think probably they're the most featured beer on our channel.
I think that's probably fair to say. And for good reason, because it's some of the best freaking beer in the world, mate.
It's the best
Oh,
best mass-produced lager in the world
oh,
by a country mile, and better than most craft attempts as well.
sensational. I mean, I would say,
Yeah,
as a lot of these comments are saying, the best beer experience in the world is drinking, Czech lager in Czech. It's you
yep.
can't really don't get many better beer experiences for the money. I would say, just that amazing foam, and it's just
Certainly not for the money. It's like a quid,
yeah,
quid a
it's
pint.
just
Well, not quid a
amazing.
pint, quid a schnit.
In these times that we're all finding a little bit harder with money and stuff. Once we're allowed to travel again, I know it's certainly one of the places we'll be going back to. We were planning content there this year, so
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah, we were.
2021 maybe pull it out the bag and get back out there because I'm quite frankly
Get back to
I'm
Pilsen.
missing it big time.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite beer cultures. It's not even just the beer itself. It's those wonderful pubs like the Local, the little Local chain, where you go in, you get endless pours of schnit. They only serve Pilsner Urquell, and you just get small plates of amazing like Czech sausages, Czech roasted veg, Czech bread, the weird beer cheese that you just dunk crusty bread in,
Great
and
stuff.
you just slowly down unfiltered, unpasteurized Pilsner Urquell, and that is for me if there was only room for one thing in my bucket list for beer, in my beer bucket list, it would be going to a Local, probably in Pilsen.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome places. We kind of talked about, we moved at the point of trying to, if we were ever to open something over here, like a bar or something, doing something like that. But we just worked out that
Yeah, definitely.
we couldn't afford, you just wouldn't make any profit in the UK.
Yeah, the schnit would be about £5, and everyone would come in going like, "That's not even a pint, and
Yeah.
you're charging me £5 for that." Whereas, where there's significantly less tax in the Czech Republic on alcohol, you can actually make profit by just serving up great low ABV lager with delicious small plates.
Yeah, just awesome.
Yeah. So we didn't include Pilsner Urquell just because we wanted to show some love to Budvar as well, because they're not an independent business; they're owned by the government. But that's another interesting story in itself. That the government has intervened to make sure that there is a big, independent, brilliant lager producer still in the Czech Republic. And they make fantastic beer as well. Not quite as good as Pilsner Urquell, but it's number 2 in the macro stakes, fighting it out with some German. That's just taste, really. I put actually on Facebook, I put a little poll going, what do people prefer, Pilsner or Helles? And everybody on Facebook said Helles, so everybody's on the German side. And then I put that on Twitter, and it was much closer, but Pilsner won. So I'm interested to know what that says about the difference between Facebook and Twitter users. But yeah, Twitter prefers Bohemian Pilsner and Facebook prefers German Helles.
Nice.
There you go.
Very interesting. Not quite sure what it means.
So I'd love to know what you think. Yeah, no idea what the implication is, but there we go. So we're about to get to, we've got a recorded question coming in, but just before we do, we should also do another little plug for the fact that on Sunday, we've got the next episode of The Bubble, which is where this podcast started. That's coming out on Sunday, midday, in which I chat to Andy Parker, who founded Elusive Brewing. He was a bit of a big name in homebrew before he set up that commercial brewery. So we have a long chat about homebrew culture, the homebrew scene, and how he's sort of taken his excitement and his experimentations that you can do in homebrew, because if it sucks, you just chuck it down the drain. He's taken that to his commercial brewery and produces lots of wild, wacky stuff. I was there the day he was doing a pumpkin coffee beer. My favourite beer by him is a Belgian Pale Ale. Anybody who works in beer will know that Belgian Pale Ales do not sell. So that's pretty unusual. So yeah, that's out on Sunday. I'm sorry it's been so long since we did a proper feature episode on the podcast. But we do have the next one lined up as well. So we're back in business. And of course, Rob is back for that episode as well. So you can hear, but probably not understand his strong Northern Irish accent. Right, should we take the question, Brad?
Yeah, let's do it. I've not heard this one yet, so this is new to me.
So this one comes from Ben Filmbusters. Who,
nice.
Is always on our live shows. We know the name well.
Hey Ben, thanks for contributing, Ben. We always appreciate you coming on the live shows and stuff. So it's great to put a voice to the words.
We really appreciate you wading in always with our live shows and all the comments. You're part of a small group of really special people to us who make a big difference to making sure that there's a real atmosphere and excitement around everything that we do. So here we go with your first contribution to our podcast. I'm handing over to Ben.
Hello, Johnny and Brad. Welcome back, Johnny, from the honeymoon. Brad, welcome back from the sun and the relaxation. Glad to have you boys both back. So, I have a question for you. I want to talk about dinner beers. I want to ask your opinion on dinner beers. Since I've got into craft beer in a big way in the last 6 months, the thing that I still struggle to find is the perfect beer to accompany certain regular dinners that I have. Like, if I have something that's a little too spicy, it just clashes with so many beers. And if I have something that's a little bit more sedate, the beer overwhelms it. So I want to give you 3 dinners that I kind of regularly have. And I just want to get your suggestions, a suggestion each from both of you about what, not necessarily style, it can be a specific beer that you have in mind that you think would be great. So I want to talk 3 beers. One for a chicken and rice type dish, like a chicken and rice with some veg and gravy, or chicken and rice with something else. Just something that goes with chicken and rice, not a very spicy dish. Number 2, something that would go with like a hearty pasta dish. Again, nothing spicy, but both red and white meat pasta dishes. And number 3, something that would go with like a salmon and veg couscous type dish. So if you can recommend me a beer for each of those meals, I will be in your debt. Cheers, boys. Keep up the great work.
There you go. What a question. Wow. So much to discuss. Strap yourself in.
3-part question. Like it, Ben.
3-part question, but essentially it boils down to which beer with which carbohydrate.
Yeah, it's all pretty carb
rice,
heavy.
Pasta and couscous. But, I mean, it's a very open-ended question. So, Ben, apologies if we don't absolutely nail what you're looking for. But should we start with the chicken and rice? Now, I know you don't like chicken.
Not a big chicken.
You like your food to be on land.
That's
You're not
it.
a man of sea, or if it can take flight.
No, not if it flies, then I let it fly by, maybe. I just have a distrust of chicken for some unknown reason. I know exactly why it is, and I don't know if we want to bore people with it. But when I was very young, I can remember being on a farm. One of my dad's friends lived on a farm, and I saw them wring a chicken's neck on like a hook thing. I don't know why it was on a hook thing on a wall. It's a chicken or a pheasant. I can't remember which one it was. But they basically pulled the head off, and it freaked the hell out of me. And since then, I've just never touched chicken.
Because, of course, when you kill a pig, it's very humane and normal.
Well, I didn't see that when I was 4 years old. I didn't see someone slaughter a pig. I mean, I feel incredibly guilty now eating pigs because I love animals and they're so intelligent. But, but I struggle with it. It's an issue. I don't.
Well, let's not go down the dark road of killing an animal as intelligent as a dog.
No. Let's
dig into chicken and rice, because chickens are idiots. So if you're going to have it with gravy, my favourite thing to do is to, like with Christmas dinner, my tip is always Saison. You get the bit of acidity that cuts through, but it's got that rich brioche stuff that can suit with, roast potatoes, roasted meats, probably some gravy, particularly if you put a little bit of chutney or something in there to sweeten up that gravy. The rice thing's a bit of a curveball.
I took it as being like it could be a hot chicken, like a real hot kind of fiery, maybe like a peri peri.
Oh, he
chicken.
said not spicy.
I said not spicy. I thought you said spicy.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, I heard it as spicy, so I was gonna say have it with a lager, something that cuts through all the spice. But maybe I misheard Ben.
Yeah, but I mean, like a nice lemony lager, like the Tegenseher that we had that has a nice lemon peel kind of note to it. Could be really, really good.
And lemon and is it thyme and lemon and chicken? That's a real nice.
Yeah, lemon
combo.
and thyme chicken and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah, that works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I think what you want is a little bit of acidity to cut through. So that could be with a clean Saison, not a mixed firm Saison. It could be a nice lemony lager. If it's spicy and it's sweet, then a West Coast IPA can be good if there's plenty of malt character for some sweetness and then some acidity from those hops. I go with something that, that is either kind of grapefruity, citrusy, lemony, citrusy, or something that's got a bit of spice and character and depth to it, like a saison.
Nice.
Or of course, well, actually, this would be better for the salmon. The salmon dish, a wit beer could be really, really good. So you've got the orange peel and the coriander in there. You've then got a really sweet, wheaty body, and wit beer goes fantastically with whitefish and probably salmon as well. So I think probably a wit beer for the salmon dish.
Yeah, and I was
depends what you've mixed into your couscous, but
I don't know what you've mixed into your couscous, but yeah, you're right. That sounds like a great combo. As for the pasta, Johnny, I was thinking if it was like a sort of quite a rich bolognese, I quite like a bit of acidity in my bolognese or to pair with it. So I was thinking even like a Flanders red could work, because that's got that kind of almost balsamic vinegary sourness, which I think would just pimp up the bolognese, the kind of the beef and the pork in the bolognese.
Yeah, 100%. Anything with tomato that's been cooked down is wonderful with Flemish reds, or the fruited lambics, like a cherry lambic, stuff like that. Stuff where there's that rich, unctuous, sweet, either like balsamic or cherry kind of notes.
The one I was thinking
it's a very famous dish, the carbonade.
Oh yes.
In Belgium, which is made with Flemish red beer or Belgian doubles. Flemish reds are fantastic for cutting through rich, heavy, unctuous sauces.
Duchesse de Bourguignon was what I was thinking in my head.
That's on the sweeter side, and then if you wanted it a little bit drier. So I think that would be great with a tomato-based thing. If you're having a richer stew that maybe isn't quite as sweet, then you'd want to go for Ronback Grand Cru or Vicette, which is a small modern Belgian brewery, make a fantastic Flemish red. It's their flagship beer, and that's dry and oaky.
Nice.
And that'd be magic with the sort of the meatier stews.
Lovely. This is making me incredibly hungry, this podcast.
Yeah, me too. But for the white pasta, again, a wit beer would be great. A lager would also be nice, but actually for me there, I'd have a mixed firm beer, the one that's got lots and lots of lovely lemon and Brett lemon acidity, Brett funk, a bit of lacto that's really going to cut through anything that's really creamy. I probably wouldn't go quite as funky as a Gers. You don't want too much Brett in there. That's just going to dominate anything that's sort of a white pasta. But yeah, something with some proper low pH that will cut right through would be great.
Lovely.
And as we all know, curry, if you're having something spicy, curry, you go IPA. Not New England IPA though.
No, don't do that.
No, the curry would just dominate it. But I hope that helps, Ben. Food and beer matches are of course down to taste, so if you disagree, let us know, or if you've got questions about other matches, also let us know. We'd be delighted to answer those for you. Anything left to add, Bradders?
Not really, only that we've got lots of great content coming up. We've been filming some quite fun stuff of late, so hopefully that's going to get us out of the doldrums, out the collective doldrums. The world's a very odd place right now. Trump's apparently got corona now, so there you go.
Yeah, apparently so. So somebody's dreams have come true. It's all looking up. We've got some great content coming out. Got 2 very exciting, very silly videos on the way for the next 2 weeks. We won't spoil what that is, but don't forget to pick up a box from Beer Merchants of the Oktoberfest Taste Along case. Don't forget to check out the Untappd interview. And of course, check out the feature-length bubble episode that's coming at you on Sunday with the amazing Andy Parker from Elusive. Guys, we'll catch you then. The Bubble Podcast is brought to you by the nerds behind YouTube's Craft Beer channel. Head to youtube.com/the Craft Beer channel to watch this week's video and over 400 more exciting episodes. If you love what we do, please do subscribe and even join our Patreon at patreon.com/craftbeer channel. Love and beer.